the journey to greatness is lonely and it's hard and it's supposed to be. But I thought every time it got hard, it was because I was terrible or I was failing. But, I learned that, no, it's just part of it.
Well, the beautiful thing about Mesa, a couple things. One, it's a world-class facility.
Yes.
So, no better place to be.
Sure.
Has everything an athlete needs in one location, and it's continues to draw the best across all the sports.
If you can live each moment, if you can live your minutes on purpose, life unfolds beautifully. And whatever comes your way in the moment, you can handle.
Hey y'all, welcome back to City Limitless, where we explore Mesa and beyond its city boundaries. I'm your host, Ashley, and I'm so excited today. We have a 3-time Olympic gold medalist who is one of the most decorated athletes in sand beach volleyball, along with her founder of p1440 and CEO. We have Kerri Walsh Jennings and Ashley Dean-Gulbranson.
Yeah. So good. You get a gold medal.
There's so much to say and so much greatness to give you guys, and I just want to make sure you have your kudos coming into this.
Nice. Nailed it.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into this. Like I was saying, I want to paint the picture for people because you guys have your p1440 out here at Arizona Athletic Grounds in Mesa, Arizona. We think that you could have put this project out anywhere, but you chose Mesa. But I want to build up and let the audience get to know you ladies both first. So, Kerri, I want to start with you. If you can give us a little bit of your background.
Oh, gosh. My gosh. Well, I was born in 78.
You were 5.
I feel like the trajectory I'm on truly started with birth because I was born to a very athletic, very sports-minded family. And that's been my life from the beginning, like family and sports, basically. Yeah. And so I grew up in the Bay Area. I played indoor volleyball for 12 years. Played at Stanford University, had 1 Olympics indoor, and then moved to the beach, which most of my career is on beach volleyball. 4 Olympics and beach, and it was wonderful. And now I'm with p1440 working with Ashley, who is a badass. She's wonderful.
She is a badass.
For me, the secret of my success, even from little me to college me onward, was just surrounding myself by great people. And the success of 1440 that we'll talk about, the partnerships with AAG, it's all truly my secret sauce is aligning myself with wonderful people who allow me just to show up and work hard and kind of roll the dice. And it's been awesome.
Yeah. Ashley, tell me about yourself then.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thanks for that, Kerri. We've been having some fun on this trip. So my background, played multiple sports growing up, grew up in San Diego, went as far away from home as possible. My child.
Opposite of me.
I played volleyball at Dartmouth College.
Oh my gosh.
And then went into coaching actually upon graduating and had a great career as a collegiate coach. I got involved in club volleyball and then that rolled into facility management. So I've always known that I wanted to give back to the sport, and originally it was through coaching, and eventually I started to understand the business side of running facilities. And it's just been such an incredible journey. And then there came a point in my life, though, that I wanted to step away from volleyball. And I was joking with Kerri because I said, I've tried to leave volleyball so many times in my life, but then it's always brought me back in. And now I'm in my 40s, and I've realized this is just where I'm meant to be, and I'm embracing it. And p1440 is the perfect platform and opportunity to really live every day with purpose and give back to a sport that's brought us our spouses. It's allowed us to travel all over the world in different ways, obviously. And so just grateful to be here and be a part of Mesa and the community.
No, we're so lucky to have you both, both powerhouses and out at AAG, because we have Meg Stevens out there who's also another powerhouse. We're just knocking it down out east out there. I love it. Yeah. But I want to also know, how did you two get involved with each other? How did your story become about?
Yeah, well, I will say it was probably, it was summer of 22. There was a role, p1440 had been established in 2018, and leadership and Kerri were looking to evolve it from a for-profit to a nonprofit. It had originally been focused in the adult pro space. It was transitioning to the youth community, youth space. And my brother-in-law actually saw the posting on LinkedIn. And
really?
It was essentially, I was at a point in my life where I had an MBA, I had collegiate coaching experience, I had facility management experience, and I had nonprofit experience. It was literally the only job description out there that I ever thought could really match
every box.
Yes, I at that point was like, there's nothing out there that is a reflection of everything I've done.
Yeah.
And this opportunity came up. We have a mutual friend, and just great connector in the sports industry out in LA, and she connected us. In a hey, here's a resume, take a look. And I remember Kerri got back to me right away and had a couple interviews, met some of the board, and then I think the rest was history. So
I mean, God bless Indeed and that platform for hiring. But my favorite thing to find new products and experts is like friends and recommendations, referrals, word of mouth. And the woman who connected us, Renata, she's incredible, and she does a lot of great work in LA.
Wow.
And anyone she speaks highly of is like, you pass everyone, you go to the front of the line. So it was like finding a unicorn in Ash, because she truly did hit every box at such a blue chip level.
Yeah.
So it's been awesome. And we didn't have to go down interviewing 100 million people.
I mean, that's always nice. You're not having to like consume your time in that process. Absolutely. Now, with that being said, you kind of started us on the journey of p1440. I want to get back to the beginning, lay the foundation of this whole now what it's turned into, but there's a lot more background to where it started.
Oh, it's wild. I'll start, okay, because this is pre-Ashley.
Perfect.
Divine timing when Ashley came in the transition. So we were founded in 2018. We started with the pros in mind, because I thought, and the pro side of the sport, of all sports, is really important, right? You want the aspiration, like people who graduate college, to have somewhere to go after. And in our sport, indoor and beach, the pro side is lacking. Like, we're an Olympic sport. So once every 4 years for 2 weeks, we're the best thing going, and then we go away. And so 1440 initially wanted to solve that problem and create a tour where we'd be sustainable every year, not just once every 4 years. So we started with the pro, but that became very political and very expensive, because events, it's like mini festivals, throwing a wedding, once a quarter, which is a lot. And then COVID hit. So it was actually the perfect storm of, okay, this isn't working. This is too much. Let's pivot to where we really wanted and needed, into the youth.
Yeah.
And so COVID really gave us a great bridge and great reason to get in front of the youth athletes, which have my heart, because in my heart, I'm still a 10-year-old just wanting approval and wanting to keep achieving and doing right. But I've learned all these tools, in my now 46 years, I want to give back, and so our transition to the youth side of the sport has been amazing, because through volleyball, we've been able to equip these athletes' body, mind, and spirit with self-awareness, and, teaching them about breath work and mindfulness, all the really soft things that make you a killer on the court.
Yeah.
And that was part of my success in the court, is that I did spend a lot of time getting to know who I am and who I wanted to be. And, the journey to greatness is lonely and it's hard, and it's supposed to be. But I thought every time it got hard, it was because I was terrible or I was failing. But, I learned that, no, it's just part of it. You can't have courage without fear, type of thing. So now that we can talk to these young athletes and just let them know that when it's hard, you should smile, because that means the good stuff's coming. That's what this sport and what 1440 affords us to do with these kids, which is amazing.
Wow.
But Ash can do a deeper dive.
No, I mean, that was incredible. That and essentially that concept of really developing the whole individual lives inside every program that we run. The community that when I came in, we had really started, and we're very committed to the junior community, so high school age athletes who are really the best in the game.
Yeah.
And many of them, 100% of who we were working with at the time were graduating, going on, becoming student athletes in college and continuing to play the sport. But as a foundation, what we were also able to do now is go and seek other funding sources that allowed us to really look at breaking down barriers of entry to the sport. Many people think you have to be on the coast on a beach to have access to beach volleyball. And as we know through our wonderful partnership at AAG, there's more and more facilities popping up around the country that are accommodating. And hey, there's also an appetite and there's a desire at the youth school age level to learn the sport of volleyball. And so we've really been able to take this great model of supporting the strongest in the game as in their development, and also bringing all of the resources to those learning the sport for the first time, many of whom are in communities that don't have the means. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's been really the focus for the last 3 years is how do we expand and grow, and our commitment to growing the game shows up in all the programming we do.
Yeah. Now I want to talk about the name of your company, of your nonprofit, because you guys were mentioning we're trying to play around with like the P or the platform. Yeah. Can you tell me where that came from and the history of that?
Yeah. So I think this is, Ashley said it's a great thing to bring up, and I so agree, because there's a lot of intentionality with everything we do. And, the P stands for platform, and we wanted to be a platform to launch many voices and stars and, just for people to kind of come build themselves off our platform. But the 1440 is something that I learned at one of the darkest times in my life when I was going through some relationship troubles. And basically there are 1440 minutes in the day. And what we kind of preach and what we aspire to embody is that if you can live each moment, if you can live your minutes on purpose, life unfolds beautifully. And whatever comes your way in the moment, you can handle. But if you're living in the past or living in the future, that's fear and that's anxiety. So the antidote to all that is living in the moment. And so our platform is super, super sports centric, obviously, but the universal kind of messaging of the power of the moment, sourcing the hero within, all of these things represents p1440.
No, I love that. Now, Ashley, you were mentioning how, truly being from Arizona, I wouldn't think beach volleyball. You think, oh, we'll drive to San Diego, we can go beyond the beach. But, that wasn't necessarily a sport that was offered for me growing up. Now, why did you guys land in Mesa and at AAG to bring this to this community?
Well, the beautiful thing about Mesa, a couple things. One, it's a world-class facility. Yes. So, no better place to be. It has everything an athlete needs in one location, and it's continues to draw the best across all the sports. Yeah. So, for us, on top of that, we are a national organization, and so we had a community that was already here in beach volleyball through a lot of the local clubs. And and we even actually had a couple employees that were already based here. So we felt like it was the perfect kind of synergy of an opportunity to come in and really make our commitment and show our commitment to growing the game, also specifically in this community, while we continue to bring in national programming, on top of being able to work with incredible leaders such as Meg and really start just really collaborating and building bridges to the greater Mesa communities.
No, I love that. How's your guys' stay been so far?
Hot. Record breaking.
And it was 110 degrees last night at 10 p.m. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, also when you're playing beach volleyball, like on the beach, like the humidity, you get the waves here. It's like, woof, that's a commitment. Like, that's a whole different level of athleticism.
It's a lot of nighttime. Thankfully, there's lights. Yes. So we do a lot of nighttime programming right now.
Sure. Now, tell me about, I was going through the website, and you guys have something with the winning moment and winning in the moment. Can you kind of explain that philosophy that you're instilling into the youth that you guys work with?
I'm trying to think of, we don't have a program dedicated to that, but it's kind of like our founding principle is the moment is where it's at, right?
And also like living in the moment, yes. And I think that's what Kerri was really alluding to is, 1,440 minutes in the day. And how are you going to, you be very intentional about how you're showing up and appreciate and be present and live in that moment.
Sure. So what are you seeing when you're bringing your program to different facilities? What are you seeking out? I know you mentioned like world-class facilities. We obviously need sand volleyball courts. What other aspects in the facilities are you looking for when you make that choice to stick your program in different states?
I will. So Mesa is the only community right now where we are operating courts 365 days out of the year. It makes it a very special market.
Wow.
100% of all of our other programming, we go to a location for a series of days, and then we run the program, and then we all leave and go back. So it doesn't give us an opportunity to really connect and build sustainability in those markets. One thing we are intentionally shifting to is going to markets, though, where we know we have community partners who want to build with us, so that even if we don't occupy the facility daily, every time we come in, we know there's opportunities to build and expand out into the community. We do a lot. Our foundation does a lot of work in school districts, Title I school districts. We work with boys and girls clubs. At the same time, we also want to support the competitive beach volleyball scene in those markets as well. So we try to really bring an assortment and a diverse level of programming. And we're picking markets where we can go back and build upon it year over year.
Yeah. Now, tell me about when the kids come through, what can they expect when they are in your program? What does that like nighttime activity look like for them? What are they getting out of this experience?
Yeah, well, a lot of volleyball.
Yeah.
Certainly, for sure.
Oh,
you know.
yes.
A lot of volleyball.
We have a range of events, going from the elite, like Ashley said, the elite juniors experience. We'll have a futures tour event, which is the top, youth athletes in the country competing for the trophy. What month is that?
So our Futures Tour runs January to June.
But our Arizona one.
Our Arizona one, gosh, yeah, January. MLK weekend at
Yes.
Mesa at AAG.
Yeah. Okay,
It'll be our
yes.
first stop. It's our kickoff stop to the season.
Yeah.
And
we have leagues,
we have league.
right? Well, we're working on adult league.
Yeah. Oh,
Adult
specifically
programming.
here too. Are we
Yes.
talking about specifically?
Yeah, specifically
Oh, sorry.
Mesa.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, okay. Yeah, no,
good.
absolutely. So a wide variety of programming. Everything from clinics for beginners. So those who maybe play multiple sport. We love the idea of multiple sports. Play multiple sports as long as you can. We have clinics where you can come in a couple times a week, get exposed to the game.
Yeah.
We have a lot going on for adults. So if you're an adult in the Mesa area and enjoy playing beach, I hope you come out and see. We have leagues up and running in the
Wow.
evenings.
And are those pickup leagues at all?
Essentially.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Pickup leagues, if you're a beginner, all the way up to really competitive amateur. We have a spot for you out there. Great energy environment. There's food there in the evenings.
Okay.
There's beverages.
Wow.
Everything. Probably very social.
Yeah.
Very
No,
social
I love
environment.
that.
Sorry.
No, go.
Well, I was going to say something we definitely we love volleyball and we want to serve all the volleyball athletes in this area. Obviously, the indoor constituency is ginormous and we really do want to grow the beach side of things. But sometimes it's so intimidating to get on the sand because the sand is so humbling.
Sure.
And so what we kind of want to do is just like Ash said earlier, like lower the stress, lower the barrier of entry to our game. Bring some of those indoor athletes out to the sand to cross train to get their sand, their toes sandy so they know, I can do this.
Yeah.
And also we've had such great success across the board, just people looking at the sand courts as great cross training, whether you're basketball or football or baseball, across the board, getting in the sand is going to help you as an athlete. And so through AAG, who has this amazing performance center, through the sand, through the indoor courts, we really want people to look at our programming as a holistic way to develop mind, body, spirit, certainly, but your physical vessel, you can do it on these different platforms that are just going to support everything you do.
Yeah.
Because
I love
you
that.
can't just do you can, and a lot of kids do, they do play one sport all year round.
Well, and you guys mentioned that, and Meg mentioned that when I spoke with her, and it's interesting how that mindset is changing with the other generations of don't just stick to one sport. I was a one sport kid. I
were you?
grew up playing soccer, and I did track, but I feel like it is a sport. I'm not ever going to say it's not a sport, but for me, I was like, it's my off season, so I can just keep running to keep up my stamina for soccer, right? But I didn't get exposure to anything. It was like, I'm good at this.
Yeah. Right.
Why do anything else? But then it was also very humbling when you get injured and now you can't do anything else. So it's cool to hear that you might be dedicated and married to one sport, but you do realize that kids need more opportunities to experience other things because they might fall in love with something that mom and dad don't love, or, grandma wanted to really have you do it, but they get to have their own path too. And it's super encouraging that you guys encourage your people to do the same thing.
Well, I think ultimately, we want our athletes to develop range within themselves. Every time you try something new, you're broadening your identity. So if and when the injury does come, because it comes to all athletes, you're not just devastated because you're like, oh, well, I can do A, B, and C because I tried it.
Sure.
And also kind of going back to the, I truly as a human want to embody sustained excellence. And I know that if I play beach volleyball every day, all day, every month, I would have burnt out after 5 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of young athletes are literally retiring from sport at 14 because they're like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
My body's breaking down. I'm never hungry anymore because I'm always fed by this one sport. So we really do believe in the the holistic, just mindful programming, and AAG really affords for that, which is I'm so grateful.
Yeah. It's a great facility for all that exposure to all the different things. And I love that. Now, going back to p1440, playing, how do you guys see p1440 shaping the local culture here in Mesa? And how does that uniquely serve the families? And you guys mentioned you work with the schools and just aspiring the leaders in the region.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, again, the more as we continue to build our level of programming and continue to find great community partners, and this could be through churches, this could be, we're running a corporate event where we want to bring in different companies. It's like, can we really hear what the community needs, all the way from youth participation through team building and places where we can have an impact. And then we're always looking for collaboration. So for us, we're not coming with a menu saying this is the only thing we want to go do. We want to work with people and build something great that suits their needs. So I think, for all those out there listening right now, it's really about if you're interested in really expanding and coming in and having a presence at AAG through fun collaborative programming, we'd be a great partner for you.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then Kerri, going back to, I have a question about the breath work, and it's funny because you keep bringing that up. So I'm like, this is something you truly eat, breathe, sleep, and preach as well. But why do you believe these practices are just as important as the physical training?
Oh man, actually, because I've lived it.
Yeah,
I can really tell. Like, I talk fast, I live fast. Like, being in the moment is so challenging for me. And as someone who just who appreciates people who are so composed and graceful, because I feel like I'm the opposite, which served me really well. But I just know, and I'm a working mom, and I have guilt of leaving my kids and all these things. And to me, truly, the antidote to the sadness and the guilt, the antidote to the stress of the moment of life is living in the moment, because everything comes to me in the moment. And when I'm home with my babes, if I'm present an hour with them, I swear to God, it covers up the sin of leaving for 2 weeks, which sounds crazy out loud. I feel like as much as I travel, I should almost be in jail as a mom because I'm gone a lot. But I really work hard to be present because that's what matters, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
So breath work allows you to live in the moment. And the moment you have awareness of your breath, I'm breathing really fast. Okay. And usually the faster you breathe, the faster your brain goes. And when I'm in my brain, I'm in trouble. I want to live from my heart, so it's just, it all kind of feeds into itself, but truly it's just whatever allows you to be in the moment in yourself. That's where, in my opinion, greatness exists. And so that's why it's just so fundamental, and it's free.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a PhD. You don't have to have $1 million. Every child can put their hand on their heart and take a big deep breath. And then be in the moment, and it's so true. And I feel like, we talk about the adult programming, and I've been doing a lot of keynote speeches around the country, and I talk to all these parents and oh my gosh, I wish my kids would hear this. And I'm like, but babes, and I'm talking to myself when I'm talking to you, we have to embody it.
Yeah.
So it's just a universal message of, who do you want to be? What's in your way? What could you stop doing or start doing today to help you to live this beautiful life? And then take ownership of it. And the way you take ownership is one moment at a time.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Now, Ashley, with your amazing background, it's very decorated. What leadership skills are you bringing to p1440 that you've learned through all of your different experiences in life?
Yeah, I think, one of the biggest ones we're having a lot of fun right now with is taking risks. So we are building.
I love that.
Yeah, we're building. we are a new organization. We're 3 years old, but every year we're just building, creating. Have 100% of the things worked? No, but we talk about this a lot, is we have to go and take those risks. So I think that's one that, we should all feel very proud of at p1440. The other one is, having grace with yourself. I think at the same time, when we're taking those risks, it's really easy to be, come back and reflect and be hard on yourself. But we learn from our mistakes, we grow from our mistakes. And that's why we want to encourage our team to continue to make smart business decisions, but ones that take those risks.
I feel like I'm sitting here needing this conversation more than you guys. Just life, I'm just consuming it, and I'm ready to go home and talk to my 3-year-old and be like, all right, we're going to slow down. We're going to put our hand on our heart. But we can take risks, but we're going to be smart about it. I'm ready to go home and kickstart my weekend, and my poor kid has no clue what I'm coming home with.
The other one that I love, that Kerri has such great tidbits of wisdom, but I've heard her say this so many times, laugh through the hard. We do hard things. And I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old at home, and my 5-year-old son has this shirt right now that says, we do hard things.
Oh my gosh.
Because, we want him to know, it's okay to be nervous about things. It's okay for things not to feel comfortable. That's when a lot of the growth happens. And, I think it's just one of those moments where when things get hard, sometimes you just laugh through it.
Sure.
And know you're supported by other people around you doing the same thing.
So with you both being moms, I love this. What are you instilling in your kids for their present? And I know we don't want to talk future, but what kind of things are you prepping them for the future for them? I'm like, the future comes so quick for kids. Like
Oh my God.
you don't realize it. Your parents tell you that, and then all of a sudden you have your own kids, and you're like, 3 years has flown by. What the heck, But what are you prepping your guys' children with?
I mean, so much. Well, and again,
Is that okay to talk about?
We talk a lot about our kids.
It's like our joy, but to me, it's like the best leaders, and I've studied a lot of leaders in greatness, and my favorite leaders and champions, like they truly lead themselves first. And I think that's your job as a parent, because our kids, like our words are just like these things that they don't really land, but they do what we do, so we really talk about like knowing who you are, knowing who you want to be, who inspires you. And I feel like if you do know thyself, like, and know what you want to represent, like that's the conversations I'm having with my 15, 16-year-old. My oldest has a girlfriend. Like, what type of boyfriend do you want to be? Like, it's an important question.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, whoa, feels heavy. I'm like, well, babe, there's responsibility with this stuff, and just how, like, there's a quote that I love that says, it's not the weight you carry, it's the way you carry it. Like, at every age, you have responsibility and these burdens of, just kind of what comes with your life. But that's actually the most beautiful thing, because you get stronger when you carry hard things and heavy things, and B, you just like you get to learn about yourself that, hey, I can either carry this like it's the biggest weight in the world, or like I got it. And that just is so empowering. So those are kind of the conversations, because my journey was as beautiful and as amazing as it gets, and it was still long, hard. I cried a lot. I was lonely a lot. And so for me, who had almost a perfect journey to feel that, I really just want to equip everyone with this, knowing that you can't hate yourself into greatness. There's a huge element of grace and self-love required. And I said it earlier to Meg. I said, I learned this, and I think it's so powerful. Like, optimism is a virtue of a hero and a warrior. And to me, people are like, no, warriors just go for the throat and they just want to kill and dominate. It's like, no. Like, you have to be inherently optimistic. You have to look on the bright side. You have to have that North Star, but be flexible in going there. And so I just said 100 things to you, but those are the types of things that I'm sharing with my kids, because it's hard by design. Hard does not mean bad. And if you have responsibility, like, take pride in how you carry it,
Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, our messaging is much simpler, but because I'm a 5 and 2-year-old, but you can tell I take, I have some good parenting advice here for our future. But, again, for my 5-year-old, it's really, it's about the work ethic, and not necessarily always going to the outcome. And we see a lot of that in sport. He's doing all the sports right now, and he's really just focused on the outcome. And we have to remind him, and we're starting to really talk about, the work, and mom goes away. I go by mama, actually. So mama goes away, I travel, I'm going to work hard. And, when we come back, we have family time, but it's really about, we have to commit. If we're really passionate about something and want to go make something great, it's really the journey and committing to the work, and not always focused on just the result of it all.
Sure. No, I appreciate the wisdom. Thank you for sharing that, because we all got littles, and just spreading the word back to them.
Well, I think our children both teach us a lot. And I don't want to speak for you, but it's incredible. And something you just brought to mind. So when my oldest was like around 10, say 8 to 10, he was playing baseball. And he goes, Mama, do you know what I do when I'm at shortstop waiting for the other team to hit to me? I'm like, no, babe, what do you do? He says, I pray for the ball to come to me. And I was like mid-competing, like wanting to be the best in the world, best I could be. And I'm like, that's the most badass thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, I'm going to do that every day on the court in practice. And so he taught me that. And then now he's kind of going through the struggles and the stresses of youth sports. And I'm like, babe, the truth of you is that little boy who prays for the ball to come to you. Like, don't lose that.
Yeah.
And so it's just like full circle, and we think life is so linear, and it's not, but I never want to lose that spark.
Okay, I'm gonna add an example too.
Please.
So, and because this is really fun. So my 5-year-old's doing like t-ball, and now they're starting to get like pitch to, right? And all of a sudden we were out in the yard like playing, and he started like positive self-talk, which is not, he said, I'm going to hit this next ball. Like, because he was swinging and he was missing it. And he did that. And I was like, Bud, that is a learned skill. Like, if that is something maybe he's picked up from, us as parents, but possibly. But I was like, I recognize that, because as a coach, that's always one of the first things you're talking about. Yeah. And I was like, So, I mean, it's really amazing. It makes you realize too, your children are watching you when you're not even realized. Like, so how important to
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I see that in my 3-year-old sometimes. I'm like, ooh, okay, we gotta be careful with how we might say that or how we do that. But I love that because I will always say sports can also be applied to real life. And I feel like people are always like, well, I've never played a sport, but the mentality is still the same. Like you can carry over and go between, I don't know, if you're a pianist or a baseball player or a volleyball player or, you know, you're a tech person, the mentality can carry through anything that you're doing. And I think it's good that people still realize that. You might be talking to athletes and you might be talking to badass CEOs, but the mentality's still the same.
It's all the same.
You know?
It's all the same. And sport is leadership, life is leadership. And then I think self-mastery, people who like pride themselves on that, you know, are the ones who end up like having these amazing careers and making the most impact, you know? So I love all of that.
No, and thank you both so much. I truly I think that is some of like the best advice that I've heard in a long time. But I do want to bring it back to p1440. And I just kind of want to close out with like, what does your guys' future vision look like for p1440 in general, but then also for here in Mesa?
Not it.
And tag
where to start.
Very high level. I can go in tangents here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's at the end of the day, we are fully committed to growing the game, and that looks very different in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
I think for us, you know, we know there's still a lot of work to do at the national level to continue to diversify our programming, go into markets and communities where there haven't been support.
Yeah.
So we're fully committed there. But as the beauty of the sport is the level of play is getting stronger and stronger as well. And there's more and more opportunity for players. So now, you know, we have all these college student athletes who are now competing across the country and representing these universities. So I know for P1440, we want to go in and really start to understand, well, how can we support in their journey for further and further along into their career?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to?
I just think fundamentally what I would love when people see P1440, I want them to just know, because they've experienced it, it's going to be a good time and we're taken care of here, you know, because community, like I think you said it first, like relationships are at the heart of everything. And we pride ourselves on being really strategic with our partnerships. Like our partnership is not just on paper with AAG. Like they want to kick ass and so do we. But we want to kick ass through love and intentionality and creating programming that is playful and excellent. Sure. You know, and so for me, a huge win is going to communities that are so deserving like Mesa, you know, and just kind of affecting every part, like the underserved community, you know, part of the community that just needs love and deserves everything. And these babies, you know, to introduce them to the game. And then when they get to high school and to club, like to be part of that journey. And then if they want to go beyond, we can support them as they go in their collegiate career, you know, and again, everything we do is through the sport of volleyball, but it really is just leadership.
No,
you know, and that's what I want people to know about P1440. And I think we're doing a great job so far at AAG. And Mesa has been an incredible partner so far. And we can't wait. Like we are at the, what were we at this morning? The morning.
The chamber this morning.
Chambers.
Yeah.
And they're wonderful. Yeah. Like I love city chambers. Like it's amazing. Everyone
I
coming
love
together.
That.
It's so special because everyone is entrepreneurial and they realize that, you know, it takes a village and like the networking. It's not networking, it's relationship building. Like this morning was the most beautiful, positive energy and we were exhausted and we were like awake because everyone was so happy and stoked to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not normal.
No, well, especially that early in the morning, right?
Yeah. But the commitment from Mesa and the people behind that show, they have such great pride for this area. You know, so for us to come in and insert ourselves even a little bit, like we honor that and we want to, you know, always show up with our best foot. But I'm impressed by Mesa.
Me
and we're
as
happy
well.
to be here.
Well, I love that. And I'm excited that our city gets to host you guys, have you here, and know that your impact is going to be felt through the community. So thank you both so much for coming out, chatting with us today. I hope that we run into each other again. We're going to be out at AAG a lot more often with the different sports and stuff coming out there, but we're always a one phone call away. So yeah, but thank you, Ashley. And thank you, Kerri. I appreciate both of your time and all of your wisdom that you shared with us today.
Well, we're talking to ourselves as we're, you know.
I'm like, I can sit here and talk and this podcast is going to go to a whole different direction.
What should we figure out?
This time we got. Yeah. Well, thank you, Ashley.
Well, thank you, ladies.
This is incredible. Thank you.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. Don't forget to check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
I need somewhere to escape to. Mesa, that's where I feel free. I'm on the